161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on a hit in the air. The deep center. Gets back, away back. She is gone.
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 201. Today you got Damon, Murph, and Chandler. Luke is not here, thank God, so we're going to have an amazing episode without him, and I'm going to prove I'm a better host than him. So if you're listening, Luke, it's going to be a great episode without you.
Very excited.
Yeah, you crushed that, honestly.
I know. I do
Hopefully
what I
he
can.
never comes back from Vermont.
I do what I can.
Vermont's like a prison in itself anyway, so
Yeah.
some would say he got what was coming to him.
I mean, I was also in prison for a while. Not actual prison, but Phoenix, Arizona. We had a rough couple of days as a group.
Yeah, we
trying
did.
to get together.
Yeah,
Luke
cold
was-
week for the fellas.
Luke was in Vermont. I was stuck in Arizona. My flight got canceled. I was there for 2 days longer than I wanted to be there. But we're back in New York, and I've been happy to be back in New York. And the Yankees won.
Damon, you're the only person in the world I've ever heard say they hate Arizona.
I don't know what it was.
It's just city boy.
I don't think it was that. It was just like Phoenix it was just so dead. Like everything was just dead. Like it's a desert. The surrounding area was dead. The plants are dead. It's hot.
I mean, they're cacti, excuse me.
Yeah, and then just it felt like no one was there. Everything closes at 9:00. It's ridiculous.
How's the Diamondbacks game? We'll actually pivot to baseball. There you go.
Diamondbacks game was awesome. It makes me appreciate the energy at Yankee Stadium though, because they like had a go ahead double and everyone's like, oh cool. Like there was like no energy when that happened. It was the weirdest thing to be at a baseball game and have that lack of intensity when your team ties it up or goes ahead at a double.
They're also fucking terrible, so that's fair. They're actually not that bad.
They're really not that bad. They're just in a hard division.
They're in the best division in baseball. I mean, AL East probably should be on paper, but the Orioles are currently ahead of the Red Sox, so do with that what you may.
I mean, it was really weird too because they were playing the Cubs and there was so many Cubs fans there, and I literally went around like probably 70% Cubs fans, 30% Diamondbacks fans, and it was a pretty packed stadium. And I legit went around. I was like, to Cubs fans, I was like, "Why are you here? Why are there so many Cubs fans?" And they're just like, the AAA team is here. And I was like, "That's."
I actually knew that. I don't know why I knew that, but I did know that.
That's such a weird, like, you don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know better, like, a good analogy or comparison to that, but
No,
it
that
was
makes
a little
sense.
weird to me.
It's like, yeah, the Yankees play spring training in Tampa. That's why I go to all the Rays games.
Yankees are a tough example though, because there's fans everywhere.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to loosely tie it in. I guess that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's talk about baseball. Let's talk about the Yankees. Yankees again. Besides today, this episode's coming out on Friday. We're recording it on Thursday, the 19th, when the Yankees just got walked off against the Orioles. They lost 9-6.
Were any of us really expecting to win that game? Like, honestly, once the Orioles took the lead, I mean, I know we tied it in the 9th or whatever, but whenever we tied it and didn't push the winning run across, I mean, granted, I was working. I normally would tune in for that, but I was like, I just don't even feel great about it. Like, I kind of had it on the background, but I wasn't locked in anymore because I saw Licky warming up, and this like Licky and Chapman were the two in the bullpen. I was like, and against the heart of their orders, like, I mean, let's be honest here, we're probably not going to win this game. And like to Murph's point earlier in the season, it's not like last year where if we had lost a game to the Orioles at this point, where I've been like, what the fuck, the sky's falling. We lost that game, and it was like, whatever, who cares? We lose games, not often, but we do. So.
We went 6-8 after playing on 8 straight road games without a day off. Totally fine with that.
Yeah, and again, like we've been saying before, like last year, this team does not beat the Orioles this much. And, you can say all you want about the Yankees kind of like pushing through the bad teams and like, oh, you guys are only beating bad teams. You shouldn't be like, the top of power rankings, whatever that may be. But listen,
we're 22-4.
Yeah,
since
first of all,
6-6.
fuck you if you think that. Second of all, we're winning games that we should. That we, last year we were not doing that, and that's a huge improvement. And I don't care. A win's a win, and it's a divisional win, and whatever it is, I'm happy.
Poor
Sevy
Monty.
looked fantastic.
He did. Well, also one thing I want to add to you real quick. People say we're beating shitty teams, whatever. We're doing what we're supposed to there.
Exactly.
But we
yeah.
also, I mean, albeit it's a short series, it's a 2-game series, swept the Blue Jays. Going the White Sox, they're the AL Central favorite. They were right behind us in World Series odds to start the year, if I'm not mistaken. Going, we take 3 out of 4 of them. And we lose 1 on a walk-off, that Chapman was shaky, and we all know how that goes. So we're beating teams that we should be beating. We should have this record against the Orioles. We're 7-3, something like that. We're getting a lot of these division games out of the way early against the Blue Jays, and we're winning them. The real test is going to be coming up. I think it's next week. We play the Rays in the Trop. That's going to be a big test. If we can keep winning these games we're supposed to win, I think we play the White Sox at home coming up, and maybe some other
We play the Orioles again.
Do we? So we play
Yeah.
the White Sox, the
think
Orioles, and then the Rays? Is that what it goes?
Yeah.
So if we can get out of here, win another series against the White Sox, take care of business against the Orioles, then we're rolling into the Rays series with no pressure. I mean, theoretically, if we keep this up and they keep up their pace, then I'm obviously not saying we're going to win, 8 out of every 10, but against the competition we should. If you're winning series and you're beating the teams you're supposed to beat, and we roll into that series against the Rays, you can theoretically get swept and still have a 2-game lead in the division, which I know it's May or June at this point, but
Yeah.
the point still stands. There's no pressure like there was last year. Every game that you're playing against the Blue Jays, the Rays, the Red Sox last year, there's that added pressure because if you lose, you're dropping farther and farther behind. This year we've built that lead. Like Rizzo said, you can't win a division in May, but you sure as hell can lose it. Like the Red Sox are doing their best to try and lose it in May. The Yankees are doing their best to build that cushion to where you can have these off series or off games and you can be okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry for the monologue.
No, I totally agree.
But yeah, Sevy's incredible.
Sevy looked great.
He's back.
JMO looked okay. We won the game, so whatever. I'm not expecting the world out of him, but he did his job. Cole continuing to look. What's that?
Cole got hit a little bit.
Cole got
Honest.
smoked.
Cole did get a little smoke, but his stats, you look at just the stats as an overview, like it looks like a good game, but he did get smoked a little bit.
Not a lot of. I don't know how many Ks he ended up with, but
5.
I know he did end up with 5.
Well, he didn't have one until the
had
4th
zero.
inning.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised it was 5. It felt like less.
Yeah.
Watch it, just eye test.
So I mean, this does though kind of Chandler said it best weeks and weeks ago. Like in order, I think it was you or Luke. I don't know who said it though. In order for Cole to be back, he needs to have that fuck you game against the Rays, and it's lining up to kind of.
That was you who said that.
True. That was me.
No, that
Yeah.
was you, Chandler.
No,
That
you.
wasn't me. I said
Chandler,
Cole
it was
needs to
100% you.
I said Cole needs to do it against the Rays. Show me you can do it against the Rays. Damon was the one who took it a step further to the I need a fuck you start from them. It may have been Luke.
I think
don't
it was
know.
real because I didn't say that.
No?
I'm not gonna take
I
credit for
could've
that.
I think we all 4 said a different variation of the same thing, to be totally
All right,
honest.
anyway, we'll give Riley credit because he's not here. Anyway, it's gearing up to be that.
Yeah,
It's coming out as a perfect storm,
it's true. Yeah.
and he needs to follow through. He needs to do that, and I mean, I think he can. Obviously,
Just a trot,
talk
man. It's such a
about-
weird stadium.
It is. I think the biggest takeaway from this series is that for the first time since they've been together and healthy at the same time, Judge and Stanton are both hot.
steaming hot.
Like steaming hot. Yeah.
Actually-
both of them at the same time. We were saying this last year that they couldn't both be hot at the same time. Like the universe wouldn't allow it. And here we are.
To that point, actually, so they're both really hot this weekend. Obviously, Judge hit 2 home runs in a game. Stanton came in today, hit a 400 and 90-foot double off the fucking whatever you want to call that wall. The wall's stupid as fuck. You know what? I'm glad Luke's not here for this episode only because he actually thinks that wall in Camden Yards is a good thing. It looks dumb as fuck.
So
but I
bad.
wanted to talk
No
about
way.
I wanted to talk about Boone. You know how he made those comments the other day, like the create your own ballpark after
Yeah.
Judge hit that thing, and people are bitching about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna make fun of the Rangers guy for saying it's a Little League park, whatever." I don't think that it's the same thing. Like he's not talking. I don't think he was talking about the length. I think he's talking about how fucking ridiculous it looks. Like if you ever made a ballpark in like MVP 06 college baseball, you would just have the weird like diagonals jetting out. That's what the new Camden Yards walls look like.
Was he like serious though about that comment, or was he like kind of being?
He was laughing.
Was he being ironic? Like,
I think he's being ironic.
Yeah, I think everyone took it a little too seriously when you said that. It's a fucking joke.
It is a joke, and we still won, and we're not bitching like, yeah, that doesn't. We get walked off there, or whatever. Like the fucking Texas guy was actually complaining.
Yeah,
I think we were kind of just laughing it off because it looks fucking ridiculous, and they took a historic like nice ballpark and turned it into a fucking joke.
yeah, it'd be different if it was like I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
I just wanted to clear the air about that because I don't think Boone meant it as like, let me bitch about the ballpark. I think it was more of just like how ridiculous it looks rather than it being an unfair advantage.
I mean, it's not an advantage of any sort.
No, it's not an advantage to fucking anybody other than the Orioles, so they don't lose. They don't get run ruled. They just lose.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, Hicks. Sorry, not Hicks.
No, that's.
I was gonna bring up Hicks next, but Judge Stan being hot at the same time, it's great. But that's gonna lead me to my next point of people who are not hot, and it's starting to become a real discussion of what the fuck Aaron Hicks is doing. The man just looks lost out there. Throughout the whole season, not the whole season, but recently he's just looked so lost. His last 13 games, he's 2 for 37. That's a .054 batting average.
That's not
two
good.
Doubles, 13 strikeouts over that span. And then in the this season with runners in scoring position, he is batting 136. That's 3 for 22. And I don't know why we're so shocked, because his career with bases loaded, he is a batting whopping 127 in his career with bases loaded. So yes, as Chandler has helped me out so much to bring this song up, is Aaron Hicks.
Yes, welcome to the sun.
On the sun.
We got to vote.
The vote happens now. I mean, does anyone else want to make a case for... Everyone want to talk about Aaron Hicks. What's going on? What do you think he's doing? Like, he just looks like he is not...
You can't make a case for him. He's fucking awful. And you know what? Here's the best part, and I think this cements it, because we have two former players, albeit one as a dog shit commentator and Carlos Beltran. We have two former players that would agree with us. Did you hear Cameron Maben today when he loafed to that ball in center field? Hicks did. He got a bad read, loafed to it. It was a sac fly that scored the tying run. And then Hicks, being a fucking bum and being lazy, ran over to the ball and just like patted his glove and like limp dick tossed it in, and it allowed the runner to get to second, which eventually was the go-ahead run. That's being fucking lazy. And Maben was like, yeah, man, you just can't have a sense of urgency, Like, I know you're struggling at the plate. We all go through those spells, but you just can't let that bleed over into the field. Like, you need to have a sense of urgency when you're out there, because that's costing your team runs. And he's dead fucking right. Because that shit can't happen. I said it a couple episodes, and I'll say it again. You can be shitty or not that great, but if you give effort, like, and I say Isaiah Kiner-Falefa not because he's bad. He's actually been decent. Like, he's average. He's perfectly average, but he hustles and he makes those plays that you don't make as an average player if you're not trying. Aaron Hicks is right on that cusp of average to below average. I would say he's probably below average. I mean, listen to his fucking stats, but he's also fucking lazy. If you're going to be on that line, like, I think we can all agree on this. The 2022 Yankees are very fun to watch. They're exciting. They hustle. They do all the little things that we've been missing and that we've been bitching about for years. And the one outlier there is Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks is the 2021 Yankees that's still just fucking nipping at their heels.
Got to trim the fat.
He's the fat. Send him to the fucking moon, dude. I'm tired of that.
I mean,
I think.
Go ahead, Murph.
Go ahead, Dame.
You go.
No, so I was just gonna say that, and I think I said this on the last episode too, is I could deal with him not hitting in big situations, because he gets on base and is a switch hitter. I can get by that if he was a plus fielder, and he would have to be a very high plus fielder, which he's not even close. He's a minus fielder. He's our worst out. There's not a single outfielder that we can put out there that's worse than him.
Agreed.
On our active roster.
I would rather, I mean this wholeheartedly, I'd rather see Marwin Gonzalez out there on a daily basis than him.
I would too.
Yeah,
What's the alternative? What are we doing though? Like, he's going to be in the lineup.
Yeah, I never see that happening. That's the thing. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because he did show like some signs of life early on in the season, and we were all like, "Oh, Aaron Hicks, like he's gonna be back to his old self. He's gonna be, chasing this 30-30 season that he's been talking about." And he started off doing all right, and then he just loses it. And like, I don't know why. I know we as a group have talked shit about him forever, but I just, it's kind of like a Gary Sanchez moment where he does one thing right and the whole fan base forgets about how bad he's been historically, and he steals one base or he gets one hit or he walks and everyone's like, oh, that's what Aaron Hicks is here for, and then we'll bleed him off, we'll bat him fifth, and then he comes up with guys on base and he's 3 for 22 this season with guys on base.
Bases loaded,
That's
one
not
out
good.
today, strikeout.
Like, you literally just put the ball in place. Like, I don't care what you do, just fucking hit it somewhere.
More to this point also, and you know what? Hats off to Aaron Boone. He's done a good job this year, especially after everybody wanted his head. Aaron Hicks cannot be batting 5th or 6th today, whatever I think he was 6th. Aaron Hicks can't be your 6-hole hitter. Not in this lineup. This lineup's too deep. There's too many people in this lineup that are getting on base on a routine, on a night after night basis. That you cannot have Aaron. You can't have Aaron Hicks batting 6 because he's got fucking runners on. If you want to play him, and you think that that's what you need to do, and you can somehow justify that, fine. But you cannot justify him hitting in the middle of that order. You can't justify it. There's no fucking reason.
You can a little bit because behind him was then IKF, Higgy, and Marwin. So where else would you put him?
I would rather take if guy on second, one out, and I had my choice between IKF, Marwin. The only person there I wouldn't bat him over is Higgy. If I had the choice right now, as it sits, going into the game today on May 19th, of IKF, fucking Marwin Gonzalez or Aaron Hicks, I would take IKF or Marwin Gonzalez a million times over than I would Aaron Hicks. I would, and I don't think that's that crazy of a take. That's not even a hot take.
No, it's not.
Well,
I mean, I think I'd rather see him hit 6 than lead off though.
here, what I'm thinking is like, I think he should either lead off or bat like 8th.
Get the strikeout out of the way early.
That or he walks. It's gonna be a strikeout or walk at this point. I'm not saying it's not gonna change throughout the season, but as it stands right now, he's either gonna walk or strike out or pop up. And I'd rather that happen as a first out, or rather it happen later in the lineup, because you don't want your main guys to get on, and then batting 6th, 5th, like that's the guy who's gonna be driving in runs when your main guys get on base if they don't clear ahead of time. And
Sorry, no, finish.
No, my last thought was just gonna be like, I'd rather have a guy like IKF there who at least we know he's gonna try and put the ball in play, regardless if he's gonna get a double or single or just do a job, hit a ground ball, hit a pot. He's gonna make contact. He has a better chance of making contact than Aaron Hicks at this point.
One thing about IKF too, before I pass it over to Murph, sorry to interrupt you. I just cucked you really hard on that, but you can pull up Baseball Savant. I know both of you guys have computers in front of you, but the thing about IKF in that situation, he puts the ball on the ground. Aaron Hicks does not do that. He pops up all the goddamn time, and when your barrel percentage, I saw this earlier, is 2%, you can't put the ball in the fucking air. That's a pop-up.
That's IKF too, also 2%. And look at the difference in
but
hitting with that 2%.
Exactly, because he puts it on the fucking ground. That's another reason that just proves the point that we're all getting at here, is that Aaron Hicks just cannot be up in those situations. If you want to play him because you're scared to make your $10 million guy a bench bat, so fucking be it, but don't bat him 6. He needs to be batting 9th. That's the only place in the lineup for him.
So that's what I was going to jump in and say was, I think the only place you can hit him, except for maybe 6th, whatever, is I think he should be hitting 9th. And here's why. Because out of the guys who don't hit for a high average and don't have a high WRC plus middle of the lineup guys, he gets on base the most. So if he's hitting 9th, then theoretically he gets on base way more than Trevino, way more than Higgy, way more than Marwin, and I would say probably pretty close to IKF. And so if you want him to come up and get his walk before the leadoff comes around, fine. And I think that's the only way he fits in the lineup.
I think the only way, just to kind of put this all in a bow, so we don't, I mean, because there's a lot of good. There's a lot, and that's coming from me. There's a lot of good on this team. But to put a bow on this conversation of all the negative shit and the Aaron Hicks talk and everything like that, the only way that this team is a true contender is if Aaron Hicks is not starting. Aaron Judge needs to be the everyday center field. I mean, maybe not throughout the season. It's a long season. You can't play Aaron Judge in center field every day. I get that. Whatever. I think he can, but you know what? Whatever. You don't want to do that every day. That's fine. Come October, Aaron Judge needs to be playing center field every day, and you need to go out. And you need we're getting to that point. I think June is a week away. We're getting to the point now where you can start talking about trades. I think that is the absolute must get. Show me that you care and you're serious about winning a World Series. Go get an Andrew Benintendi. Go get one of those guys, and you put Judge in center field, and you put a Benintendi in left, and you roll out Giancarlo Stanton right, or you roll out Gallo, or whatever you need to do. Aaron Hicks cannot be that guy when you're heading into October in a do-or-die game. You cannot have Aaron Hicks playing center field and batting sixth. That it can't happen.
Let me give you a name.
Okay,
And
throw
I
it
thought
out
of
there.
this today because he happened to hit a walk-off home run against us.
Pete
Anthony
Alonso.
Santander.
Oh,
Today.
Pete
Anthony
Alonso.
Santander.
he had a walk-off home run
He's
today.
He's
Pete
on the
Alonso's
Orioles.
not playing left field for us.
What'd you say, Murph?
And Anthony Santander, switch hitter
Yankee
on the
killer.
Orioles. Probably not going to be that high of a price tag compared to some other guys. If you want that rental, I don't know what his contract situation is, team control. I don't even know how old he is, but he's good enough.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The bar is set so low right now that anything is an upgrade. Go get a young-ish guy that can provide some sort of consistency at the plate, and you're upgrading. Like, I'm not asking for the fucking moon and the stars here. I don't need you to go out and get a Mookie Betts. I don't need you to go out and get Brian Reynolds. If you want to seriously contend in October, you need a marginal upgrade over Aaron Hicks. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not expecting them to mortgage the entire future and go get a superstar. Obviously, there's the rumors of Juan Soto, whatever. I don't expect that to happen. But, like, if that was a real possibility, then you mortgage the future and you go get a guy like that. But I'm not, like, you don't need a superstar. You need another IKF. And I shit on the guy, but you need another guy like that, and you need him to fill that center field role.
I mean, dude, if this season's taught you anything, it's that those role players are so important.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need these big name home run guys. And, like, that's literally the biggest change from this year to last year. And look where we are right now. We need those role guys. And Hicks was supposed to be a role guy like that. Get on base, be a plus fielder. And he's neither of those right now.
Look at 2019, the next man up team. All we had was role players, and that team won the division, but pretty handedly. And we made a good run. They were exciting. They were fun. That's what we're having again this year, but I think we're a little better.
Yeah, and you know why? Because guess what? Aaron Judge and Stan are bashing the baseball, and they're getting all the RBIs. Like, that's what the team is built around. And it's a shocker that's working because they're both fucking playing, and the role guys are coming in. Like, what a fucking concept.
One of them's leading the league in home runs, and the other is one RBI behind the lead.
Yeah, like, that's what it should be. That's what we signed up for, and I'm so happy about that.
You know what we never addressed while we're on this thing of our big like basher guys?
Yeah.
Did you guys see Brian Kinney's rant on MLB Network?
No.
Oh my God, you didn't? He spent the other day. At this point, I shit you not. At this point, Stanton was hitting over 300. He was one home run behind the lead in major leagues, and Brian Kinney went on a 5 to 6 minute rant on MLB Network about how Stanton's a cancer to the Yankees and how he can't do it in the postseason. How if the Yankees could redo it, they wouldn't get him. And
whatever.
He almost hit 3 home runs against the Red Sox.
Dude, he's terrible. Like, not Stanton. Brian Kinney, that is the worst take I've ever heard. Somebody was like, yeah, he must have like fucked Brian Kinney's wife or something, because there's just no way. Literally, because and he's like, he can't get it done in the postseason. The dude's got like a 1.1 OPS and not 0.11.
Wasn't he the best player? I know it was a short postseason last year, but is my mind mistaking me that he wasn't the best player?
You remember 2020 when he hit 6 home runs in 6 games in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean,
6 straight games with a home run. Fuck off.
That's just a misinformed take.
That's what I'm saying. And Brian Kinney, I actually like Brian Kinney. Like, he has some decent insight about baseball, but like, he's got to have some personal vendetta against it. Like, I mean, that was a horrible. You should lose your job for that. If you can say that on national TV, you should lose your job.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it back to the original conversation.
Sorry.
Um,
That needed to be addressed, though.
no, we took a little tangent there, but back to the original conversation. Aaron Hicks
Bad.
to the Sun.
All in favor?
Oh, so far to the
Aye.
Aye.
I
And we have an eye from Rella before the episode started.
He
So
mailed in an absentee ballot.
Aaron Hicks officially on the Sun, and
Julio, looking forward to your graphic.
Yeah, sole member of the Sun, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He is. There's some other guys knocking on the door. Not really knocking on the door, but, their
Yeah.
names will start to be floating around in the stratosphere if they keep it up.
Yeah.
Lucas Licky.
But Aaron Hicks on the Sun officially, bound to happen, and we'll see if anything happens where he can make it off in the near future. But
It won't.
a lot needs to happen because Aaron Hicks has been knocking on the door of the Sun for quite some time in his career, and this might just be where he ends. But only time will tell with that. I want to talk about Trevino a little bit. I feel like he doesn't get enough love recently, and I want to bring up the catcher conversation, and if there is one, and do you think we should keep doing what we're doing right now? Do you think Trevino should get some more playing time? Him and Higashioka, their hitting stats are not, I mean, they're different. I mean, Higgy's batting 169. He's got 5 RBIs. His on-base percentage is 227. And Trevino's batting 204, 6 RBIs, on bases 259. It's not an incredible difference, but do you guys think that there should be some sort of shift in the amount of times that they're playing, or do you think, it should just kind of stay as is and don't fix it if it ain't broke?
Not yet. I don't think they need to switch it up too much yet. I think they're going at about a 50-50 clip, and that's what they said they were going to do in the season. And if one was doing way better than the other, sure. I am a little bit more excited when Trevino's in the lineup. I'll admit that, but
Yep.
The thing is, with Trevino, we're all excited about his defense, but Higgy's still a very good defender. And I will say this, for right or wrong, whatever reason, whenever Higgy's up to bat, there's a little bit of confidence in me every time he's up there. And it's not because he's a great hitter. He's not historically a great hitter. I mean, we could look at my hot take before the season. It's a hot take for a reason. I know I'm a fucking moron, whatever. But I said he was going to hit 25 home runs. He was coming off the best spring training since fucking Chris Bryant when he got made the major league team and won Rookie of the Year. But I mean, he's got that kind of pop enough to where he's not Gary Sanchez, where yes, Gary Sanchez has pop. And I'm not bringing that up just to shit on Gary Sanchez, but Gary Sanchez was this highly touted guy that was supposed to be the baby bomber, whatever. He's dog shit defensively, dog shit offensively with pop. Higgy is good defensively. He's not great offensively, but he has pop. And that's, we all knew that going into it. Nobody has high expectations. And fair or not, expectations play a role in what you feel about a guy and how you feel about him when he comes up to the plate. Higgy, I don't expect anything, but it doesn't shock me when he does well.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though.
But 50-50 is fair. Let me just throw that out there. To answer your original question, 50-50 is more than fair.
Yeah.
I would even lean more towards Trevino if gun to my head, if I had to pick one or the other. But sorry.
No, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's room for change right now. They're both not doing amazing. They're both kind of just doing whatever. The one thing I will say about Trevino is that situationally, I feel better with him up than Higgy, because Higgy's just like a power swinging, double or home run kind of guy. I don't think he's caught hold of one this year so far.
No,
he
got
hasn't.
we have one home run
have
from
any.
the catcher spot.
No home runs.
Well, you know what? This is what we asked for.
I know. I'm not saying we were expected a lot, but except for Chandler, because Chandler's hot take was that Higgy would have 25 home runs this year, and that's
I wasn't expecting it though. That's a hot take. There's a reason it's a hot take.
That's not gonna happen.
No.
That would have been amazing. But,
That would have been wild.
well, I mean, look at how much. It really proves how defensively the catcher position matters so much more. I mean, granted, Gary Sanchez really wasn't that good offensively when it came down to it in the last couple of years, but we're winning this many games, and our pitching especially has been really well. And oh wow, what a coincidence! We have good defensive catcher every single day.
Yeah,
It's something that I've pointed out in the past, and I'll take to my grave, is the biggest part of a catcher. And it's not offensive, it's not defensive, it's not measured on a stat sheet. It's calling the game on a day-to-day basis. When you watch Gary Sanchez and that entire pitching staff, there's a reason that Garrett Cole and Jameson Taillon and Corey Kluber, another veteran who's done it at the biggest level, don't throw to Gary Sanchez. It's not because he can't catch, and it's not because he doesn't block up a ball. It's because he doesn't know how to call a fucking game. That's the biggest measure, and that's the biggest difference. There's a reason our pitching staff, I think when Gary Sanchez was here, our pitching staff was a whole run lower in ERA, small sample size. But now that we're seeing a whole year of it, I think that's the nail in the fucking coffin, that Gary Sanchez doesn't know how to call a game. And you know what? Fine. He can go to the Twins. He can hit home runs out of the DH spot. He can do whatever. I don't care. This isn't to bash Gary Sanchez. I'm just saying that's the difference that we don't see when you are platooning Gary and you're platooning Higgy. You don't see that on the stat sheet of calling a baseball game. But again, that's why the veteran guys, the Corey Klubers, the Garrett Coles of the world, opt for Kyle Higashioka last year, is because he knows how to call a game. Gary Sanchez, and you can see that. It doesn't take a genius to see it. You know, Gary Sanchez is calling the wrong pitch at the wrong time, and the pitchers are frustrated with him. You don't see that anymore. There's not as many shakeoffs this year. There's good chemistry between the pitchers and Trevino and Higgy, both of them. And there's no shakeoffs. They're sticking to their game plan. They know what they're doing, and it's working. And I mean, that's the biggest testament you can have to the catching rotation.
And you know what else makes it work is that it's a healthy competition between the two of them, at least according to what they were talking about on the broadcast. I think on Monday or Tuesday, they were talking about how the competition between Higgy and Trevino isn't, malicious in any way. It seems like a healthy competition. Apparently they're really close in the clubhouse, that kind of thing, which I think goes a long way in them. I mean, not that either of them are really hitting that well, but I feel like that could cause a clubhouse rift if you're splitting catcher 50-50. There's probably not another team in baseball that's doing that, but
yeah. But I mean, it's, not a lot of our other teams have two defensive catchers that they can rely on. And
absolutely.
We do, and that's a huge plus. And I thought it was interesting.
Can I ask you one thing real quick about Aaron Hicks that I didn't? No, well, it's not to shit on him. This is something I just didn't get to bring up because we moved to the catcher thing. It's quick, yes or no. Doesn't take anything. Is Aaron Hicks the starting center fielder next year? Do you think his time as a Yankee is coming to an end?
Fucking hope so. I didn't want him starting center fielder.
But legitimately, do you think that it's coming to an end sooner rather than if he keeps this up? I just can't see a world where he's the center fielder going forward.
No
way.
You have too much depth in the minors. There's too many better options elsewhere.
Yeah.
You have it, Aaron Judge. I don't know. Just something I want to bring up.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know if Florial or Locke or anybody's going to be coming up to play center.
Whoa.
I don't know. I think Florial could, though. Florial's been improving literally every single year in the minors, and he's still just this young kid who comes up every once in a while, but he has a lot of fucking potential to be good. I don't know if he's starting center fielder good yet, every day starting center fielder, but I'd rather have him out there than fucking Hicks at the moment.
I would too. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't think it would happen because they're paying Hicks $10 million. Unless Hicks,
it's not that much though.
It's really
it's really not a lot. It's
what does he only
know.
have? 3 years, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that obviously that contract's a whole different conversation, but I don't think he will be next year. I really didn't want him to be this year. We said that before the second season started, was that we don't want him to be the center fielder at all. So, yeah, I think his time is well overdue. I hope he surprises us. I think that we had low expectations coming in, but we had high hopes.
Low. He's 4 for his last 41.
Yeah, this is bad. So that's why he's on the sun. That's why his episode's called Aaron Hicks is Lost, because he just looks lost out there in all aspects of the game.
Give me Brandon Lockridge. I'm taking Iguodala.
I'm taking
hindsight,
Iguodala.
we should have put every dollar we had into Seiya Suzuki.
Dude, yeah, he's incredible.
We were in the conversation, right? We just didn't want to pay him.
Who knows, man?
Yeah,
We're
knows?
kicking the tires on everybody.
We're in the conversation with everybody. Yeah,
I mean,
just to shut us up.
Speaking of which, real quick, touch on this. I just got a notification right before we press record that we are one of the suit. Let me look at the exact verbiage, but it was about Frankie Montas, and it was Montas linked to many teams. Yankees among the teams interested in the A's starter. Interesting question. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Cashman has the nuts to do it. You can praise Cashman all you want. This team isn't good because of Brian Cashman.
Yeah, he just took a shot and ended up
This
working.
is his like 9th lineup in a row where he just threw shit at a dartboard that happened to work out. But if Montas were to come over here, 1, good for my fantasy team, and 2, who does he take over in the rotation?
JMO.
No way.
I don't know.
Who do you think?
I was gonna say maybe Montgomery.
That's what I
He
was
also
gonna
looked
say.
good.
JMO's good. So is Montgomery. I don't
don't
know. That's what
know.
I'm saying. It's a legitimate question. Because there's no right answer. Like, I'm not shitting on Montgomery. He's an amazing starting pitcher. Like, he is a solid. He's a okay 2, solid 3 on every team in Major League Baseball.
You know what you're going to get out of him. And that's why I say JMO.
But Montas.
No, I'm just saying JMO's like.
I think
feel
they
like
would go
he's
to a
been little
6-man
more-
rotation.
He's been a little more inconsistent. I don't know. It's a tough
You know
question.
who
I
else?
don't know.
You know who else we were linked to while we're on the conversation of deadline already? And we were talking about potential center fielders is Brian Reynolds.
He just signed an
I-
extension with the Pirates.
He did sign an extension.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Look at Arenado.
True.
Well, there was also something I read about the Nationals giving up on Soto because they can't sign him either.
They just
They
said
did give up on him.
it came out today too that that's smoke, not fire.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a real conversation if that ever happens, but I think that, if I'm Brian Cashman, I think that obviously the center fielder position is been a hole. That was never something that was a hidden issue, like it was a glaring issue in our face when the season started. But if we're gonna go left with another person, like I think there's no shame in just boosting up our relievers even more, because you look at what's been going on so far. Chad Green went down today. He looks like he's going to be out for the season. Don't quote me on that at all, but it didn't look good. Whenever you
Forearm tightness means Tommy. Like,
whenever you call a trainer to the mound to come help you out and you say it's forearm tightness, it's never a good sign.
9 out of 10 times it's Tommy John.
Especially because he just did a pickoff move and like that probably tweaked something in a weird way, and like not a good sign. I don't have any real expectations for him to come back. It's not like he was like our star reliever, so I hope he's okay, but it wasn't the biggest blow to the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for injury for the guy.
Yeah,
but that's just a fact of the matter. That he wasn't good.
Yeah, what are you gonna say, Murph?
Do we think that might have been something that's been building up for a bit, and that's why he's dramatically lost velocity on his fastball and overall effectiveness?
If that's been building up for a bit, it's been building up for like 2.5 years. So,
I mean that's a good point though. I mean,
I thought about it.
could.
So that was my
This
initial
year,
thought.
he looks different than other times.
That was my initial thought too. Was like, man, maybe this is why he sucks, and maybe I should back off. And I was like, wait a minute, no, he sucked last year. He's been bad for a while. Which, I'm not trying to kick a fucking kick a guy while he's down, beat a dead horse. There we go. I mixed 2 of those together, whatever. But
kick a horse.
yeah, I'm not trying to kick a horse or anything, but I mean,
I'm not trying to kick a dead man.
I mean, he hasn't been good in a while, and even when he was good, he had spurts where he was really bad. And I mean, recent as 2019, he got sent to the fucking minor leagues as like a 26-year-old. I mean, this isn't
He
news.
lost velocity though.
It's because he's
couldn't
bad.
Find it. He couldn't find it. And then he came back and he was dominant again. And he was throwing it 98 miles an hour with life, and now he's throwing it 94 with no life.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
But he
It's-
was
it's a
throwing it
different
94
kind
with
of
no
bat.
life last year, too. That's the thing. And if it
like
has,
this year's
then it's
worse.
been a thing for a while. I mean, he's 30 years old now.
Well, also, I mean, it's also supports your. I mean, I'm not a doctor by any means. I think this is how the body works, but like the fact that it was just a pickoff move, like it kind of seems like it was something that's been building up for a while, and just like one wrong motion in a weird direction just kind of like tweaks something. Is that how science works? I don't know, but it sounds good in my head, so I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
So who comes up?
Well, we got the Lord and Savior Zach
Stop
Britton
that.
coming back.
Stop that. Don't even mention the Z word on my couch. It's my couch right now when you mention that fucking name. No.
Don't mention his name. We talk about him. Yeah, Zach Britton's just another guy who's just been, on and off injury. He's been a little inconsistent. Don't really know what we're gonna get out of him.
Field of Dreams.
We just don't know what to expect. It's not like a Sevy coming back where we're all just like juiced up and excited to come out. He's gonna dominate. Like Zach Britton is.
I thought Zach Britton was legitimately like I thought his career was over.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Like he's not. I'm not juiced up that he's coming back. Like I like the depth in the bullpen. I like that he's lefty, but I haven't really seen that much from him where I'm genuinely excited for him to come in. I think that bringing him in and Chad Green coming out, it's like, what are you really giving up and what are you really gaining? Like it's pretty much just switching sides.
You're giving walks instead of hits.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how Britton does, but that's kind of who's going to fill his role for the time being. I mean, I don't know when he comes back, and comes back in a few weeks, right?
I don't know. They said he was throwing at
had it
120 feet, and he's going to start throwing bullpen. So, I mean, it could be a month. It could be two. It doesn't. I don't really know. When they said he was coming back in the bullpen, I thought they meant he was throwing bullpens, not actually going to the bullpen. I don't know. It is what it is. But I think in the short term, I mean, look at who you have in the minors. Like Heel would have been the clear cut choice, but he's hurt now.
He's going to get TJ, right?
Not confirmed, but he left the game, called the trainer over with forearm tightness. Like he couldn't throw anymore. It was the forearm. So
I mean that's a real tough blow.
The optimistic answer for Zach Britton is late August, early September. So we're not seeing him.
Okay,
anytime
so
soon.
forget everything we just said about replacing him because he is not going to be that replacement. But
So it sounds like it's going to be Sears or because correct me if I'm wrong.
Ralph
but,
Macchio.
Clark Schmidt's on the active roster.
Clark
right now.
Schmidt's up. Dark horse candidate Ken Waldachuk.
No, I don't think he's on the 40 man.
Waldachuk?
I don't think so.
No way. He just got called up to AAA.
I don't think so.
Send dark horse candidate, or you could see, Clark Schmidt kind of take that role full time, and then they bring up another bat. That's the only, and I think
they
that
like
wouldn't
the pitching depth though.
Yeah, but that wouldn't surprise me once we get out of this stretch of 26 games in 25 days, and they finally get an off day and they can reset and everything. It wouldn't surprise me if you see a rotation of like a Sears, a Ralph Macchio, and then like a bat, and they're all just kind of based on what they need. I guess there's that new minor league rule where they have to be up and down for 10 days, but you know what I mean? Like I feel like whoever this person is that's going to take his spot, I don't think it's necessarily a guaranteed role. I think we're just going to see 3 to 5 role players that are kind of just shipped back and forth.
Yep.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm sure we're gonna see a bunch of just like weird moves up and down from the minor leagues the next few weeks as we kind of try and figure out who's gonna be the next bullpen arm coming up with Chad Green out for the indefinite future. Yeah, I mean, other bullpen stuff. My hot take is doing phenomenal so far. My hot take beginning of the season was that Clay Holmes is going to be the number 2 guy in the bullpen, looking like number 1 guy in the bullpen. I don't know.
Do you see that list of people that have had the same start of him in their career? It was like Mariano Rivera and some other Hall of Famer.
No, that's a good start.
It's not bad. Some would say better than most.
Clay Holmes is disgusting. And
He's
Was
so
it
good.
18 scoreless, right? Streak?
Something like he has not given up a run since opening day.
I think it's 18 innings in 16 games or something.
He's thrown 19.2.
19. So
I believe.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, so my hot take's doing incredible. What was your hot take, Murph? I forget.
Oh, it's not.
we're doing a little check-in of our hot takes this episode.
It was contingent on us being 4th or worse in the division, which obviously not. It's basically the exact same thing that's happening with the Red Sox with Bogarts. I thought that was going to happen to Judge. Is that we were
right.
If we're in 4th at the deadline, we're going to trade Judge, and now the Red Sox are in 4th, and they're looking like they're going to trade Bogarts.
Yeah, Judge is definitely in a different situation than Bogarts at the moment.
I had 2, and if you just want to go ahead and get this out of the way, shitting on me. One was that Loizaga was going to start splitting closes, which that's not that bad, but it's still not great. And then the other one was that Higgy was going to hit 25 home runs, and there's just as good of a chance of me doing that as him. We both have the same amount right now, so not looking great.
Loizaga doesn't have the worst ERA anymore.
Yeah, snaps to Lucas Licky. The spark that was it 6'3", 6'8", something like that.
Something.
All right, you want to get into some rounding thirds, hot takes?
Sure.
That way everyone graciously sent in to us so we can take a look at.
Gracious. Yeah, there was one that I wanted to address first because I think this was probably the most likely. Chad Green gets arrested for homicide.
What?
No? Okay. Garrett Cole's contract makes me a little uneasy.
I mean, I see the, and that's a hot take, because like, you know, he's been pitching mediocre for the past few games, but it's still Garrett Cole. Like, I'm not worried about it. He's still our guy for the foreseeable future, and we're building a team off of.
I'm not worried about him because he's still throwing 100 and dotting.
I'm not worried. Yeah, he's not the best pitcher in baseball right now. That's fine. You can't expect that for his entire contract. I think I'd be more worried about his contract if the Yankees weren't doing well right now. Like if the prime of his contract career.
Yeah, it's like it's nice wasted. That I think it's like it's funny because I think this is one of the few. This is probably the only year really where in recent memory I'm like, we're not relying on the ace to pitch every fifth day. It's like we have some amazing arms, and when Garrett Cole pitches, it's just a plus. You know what I mean? Like I think we talked about this last episode and episode before that. It's just like whenever a guy comes up to pitch, it's like I'm excited to watch him. I am encouraged that he's going to do well. And then when Garrett Cole pitches, there's like this extra added plus that like he's our ace and we're going to win this ball game. So no, I disagree with that one a little bit.
I would agree. Agree with you, not him.
Same page.
Florio gets called up and takes Hicks's job, and he's the next big Yankee.
I mean, that goes back to what we were just talking about. I think that can it happen? Yes. I think that Hicks needs to continue to be terrible for like a month straight still, and then like maybe we have a conversation. I don't even know if Florio's gonna be like that next guy we go after, or if we're gonna try to trade for somebody. Or
there's also a guy named Brandon Lockridge.
Brandon Lockridge, friend of the pod, might join the squad. So I would love to see it happen. I don't know if it will. Murph, what do you think?
Same as I said earlier in the episode. I think that the Yankees are going to need to make a move at the deadline, and I think center fielder is the glaring move to try to make if there's somebody available, or just another outfielder in general and have Judge slide over. Obviously, Montas would be pretty cool too, but I think most likely it's not going to go directly from Hicks to Florio. I think somebody's going to be in between.
I agree. Yeah. The Yankees will trade Aroldis Chapman and will end up regretting it.
I don't think anybody's is going to want to take his contract.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible contract, and I don't know. I mean, statistically, he's been doing fine, but if you ever watch the games, in which everyone who's listening is probably watching the games, he's not been doing great. He's a very stressful person to watch, and I think that his save numbers are misleading to the rest of the league so far. And I think we all think that way.
And I've never thought that ERA mattered less than I do right now.
Yeah,
his ERA is not even good for a closer.
It was like, I mean,
it's like 2.8.
Anything under 3 is still pretty good. And
it for a closer,
it looks like it should be 5. I agree, it's not great for a closer, but it seems way higher.
Listen,
like, 2.8 is much higher than I would have thought.
If one or two hits fell down, that the ERA is like at 12.
If Michael King doesn't exist, that ERA is double digits.
Exactly.
Also true.
Gallo is heating up, 30+ home runs this season.
I mean,
agree with that.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, we never signed Gallo to be a contact hitting guy. You know, it's funny when he had his interview the other day, and he was like, "I'm so envious of like guys like DJ who just hit the ball all the time." Did you see that?
No, I didn't. But he's funny. He's very honest about not hitting.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm so envious of DJ. He just fucking hits the ball all the time, and I wish I could do that, but like." I'm just playing with the cards that I was dealt with. I'm a power hitting guy. I get on base. That's what I'm going to do. And like, that's what we expect out of him. We didn't expect him to hit 250. Like, he's going to hit low 200s, hit a couple bombs, get on base, and that's his game. And, you know, if that's what he does, and that's what he does, and if he does his job, then I'm happy with it. It's just, it is frustrating to watch, though.
50 home runs before 50 singles. I don't know what you're expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely frustrating to watch, though, because he just strikes out a ton, but an out's an out, and, you know, it is what it is.
I'll wrap up the rounding thirds with this. The Yankees are going to face the Houston Astros in the ALCS rematch and show them what it's like to not play without trash cans. I'm assuming that means we're going to win, make the World Series.
I really don't want to play the Astros.
I don't either.
Mostly because if we lose, it's going to be a
always-
terrible. I wouldn't hear the end of it.
No, that would be the worst time of my life.
I think that's about the worst case scenario, is losing to the Astros.
I honestly, I don't even want to fucking beat them. I don't even want to play them. Like, I'd rather not play them at all than to play them and for a chance to like prove that we're like better and, you know, we need to like, I don't know what the word is, but whatever that may be. I don't want to take that risk because that's just a terrible look if we lose to them again.
If we lose to the Astros now, especially with all the media like talking shit between their owner and
you know what happens?
Cashman and all that, I don't want to hear that.
What's gonna happen is like if we lose, then everyone's like, "Oh, I told you, like we could beat you without trash cans." Then everyone starts to like say that the 27, or not 27, a long day today, 2017.
Yeah, that
year.
checks out.
Yeah, like oh yeah, we beat you guys anyway. Like Altuve deserved that MVP anyway. Like it doesn't really matter. Trash cans don't really help. And then we have a whole conversation about that, and then never hear the end of it.
Totally agree.
Let
me ask you this before we wrap up, because now we're kind of winding down. I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I don't know who it was. So if you're a listener to the show and I didn't give you credit, then sorry. But Domingo Germán. What
about him?
What do you do when he comes back? Because he's obviously a major league caliber player, but off-field issues plus our entire pen and starting rotation is dominating outside of Lucas Licky. Like, what do you do? I mean, if he's back sooner rather than later, which I think he's on the 60-day DL, he's not even eligible for another 20 games. But I mean, does he slot in? If Chad Green, worst case scenario, he leaves with forearm tightness. This isn't me being negative. I mean, forearm tightness, like we said, typically leads to Tommy John. If that's the case, and Domingo Germán comes back, is that an option? I don't know. That's why I just said Domingo Germán. I completely forgot he existed until I saw that.
He seems like he's coming back soon.
I don't know what you
where
do.
he fits. Who do you bump? Nobody in the starting rotation right now.
No, he would be a bullpen arm.
So Licky?
No, you don't need to bump anybody. That's the thing. Because that's what I'm saying. Assuming the worst.
Oh, I forgot Chad Green got hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, if Chad Green's not hurt, then you're back into this situation, and I would bump Licky for Domingo Germán. So from a pure baseball standpoint,
yeah,
he provides a lot more value out of that pen than Lucas Licky. Pure baseball. It's not my job to talk about anything else. Just saying, if push comes to shove and we need a pitcher come October, I trust Domingo Germán much more than I trust Lucas Licky.
We have two other lefties in the bullpen too.
It's true.
Wandy's a beast.
Wandy's been a lot better than he has been recently.
I don't appreciate the fucking Wandy slander on here from a one Mr. Luke Rella.
I slandered him too. I'll say it.
Yeah, all you guys. I'm the only one that backs up Wandy.
I don't slander him.
Murph.
I did. I did last episode or whenever that was.
Wandy's fantastic.
He's way better. He and Clay Holmes both same time. Didn't know who either of them were. And last year, Wandy looked pretty good. So ever since then, he's had a warm place in my heart.
Ever since he got off the sun.
Until his ERA goes over. I was not on that episode. I remember because I was upset that he made the sun. But
it was well deserved.
I know. But
he had like a 7 ERA when he got sent to the sun.
All right. I think that wraps it up for us. If you're still listening now, then obviously you're a real one. So Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Bronx Pinstripes is the YouTube page. If you're not in our Yankees group chat so far, I don't know what you're doing.
It's a great time.
It's a great
Gets me
time.
through work, honestly.
We have about 400 people in this group chat right now. We talk about betting. We talk about baseball. We have a live game day group chat. It's a ton of fun. We're all in there. We're all hanging out. It's in the Chalkboard app. Link is in the bio of the podcast. It's in the bio of the YouTube page. It's in our bio on our social medias. Just click that. Takes you right to our page. Join in. Talk some shit. Hang out with us. It's a ton of fun.
Side note on that, too. There's a little incentive. There's the Air Judge jersey giveaway.
It's true.
If you go and I think it's, there's a retweet. If you'll find it on our page, retweet that. Join the Chalkboard. You are entered to win that. So who doesn't want an MVP's jersey?
Yeah, if you're in the Dropboard group chat, we're doing a giveaway for anyone in that group chat. So if you're in there, then you're automatically in consideration for that. If you're not already, join it right now while you're listening to me ramble on about this. It's also just a lot of fun. We have good times in there. But yeah, let's go Yanks, and we'll catch you guys later.